Alright. Bring the music down. Alright, we're good. Ba-bam! Hello, everybody. Music down. How's it going on a fine... What is today? Wednesday? Wednesday? Yeah, I think it's Wednesday. Wednesday or Thursday. Oh, anywho. Sorry about the late start today. It has been a long day. But I'm going to try to get some writing done before I have to go. I have to leave and get ready to go to San Diego for a couple days. So it'll be a shorter day today. Still plan on trying to get done before 6. So unfortunately, it's probably only going to be about 2 hours of sprints about. So we'll see if we can get through 3. Ideally 3. And hopefully there won't be any Godzilla rants on this one. Alright. Well, I don't suppose there's any sense in waiting. Might as well just get right into it. We're going to keep on these tunes, I think. And I think from there on, get to a writing. Alright, everybody. Just go ahead and rock and roll and get to it. For everybody who's out there writing, I hope it is a good sprint. You get a lot of the words flow freely and easily. And we will catch you on the other side. Alright. Happy writing, everybody. Pomodoro. There we go. Bam. There we go. Oh, bam. And there we go. That is the end of our first sprint. Oh, God. All right. Of course, of course, of course. I highly approve. Yes. Yeah, I was seeing Ghostly at one point started doing the command. Hi, Horny Angel, redeem, stretch, or stand up and move. Welcome in, Horny Angel. Hopefully, the day and the words are treating you well. Thank you so much for the hydrate, the stand up, and the stretch. So if you've been working, be sure to do all those goodies. Let me expand my thing here. Honestly, that's the way to do it. I love most of my family, but there's something in the water around this time. Yeah, exactly. I cannot do it. I just don't. I also have to go back to Wyoming, which I know a lot. I can handle that. I can handle a lot of those people and the insane things that they say and do. Um, uh, Even though I do sometimes have a habit of picking fights, but I generally am pretty. I can handle it. I don't say I'm tolerant of it, but I can handle their nonsense. But it's just, man, particularly in the winter, people get stir crazy and stuff, and it's like I just want to go there when I can just. It's quiet. It's just quiet. I can hang out with my mom, and everything's just chill. It's very Christmassy snow. So that's what I want. So that's why I avoid it on the holidays. Um, Yes, hello. You were here from the start just writing? Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you and welcome in. Stretch and stretch away. Yeah, I think. Oh, back to what I was saying with Life with Lex. Yeah, Ghostly was doing. I think Ghostly kept doing like command work, so I eventually here. I'll put it in. I command work. Um, Yeah, there we go. It works. Okay, yeah. Then I managed to get Moobot to auto comment with a quote from The Lighthouse, which is one of my favorite movies. Uh, so now I have to do an exclamation party and try to come up with a good movie quote. So uh, I don't know why I did that. It just made me laugh. Anyway, Horny Angel. I finally Oh wait, let me start the down timer actually while we're at it because I do have a habit of forgetting that. I think we might have an ad. Yeah, we're gonna have an ad in about 3 minutes. So just prepare thyself for capitalism. Um, I finally finished my character story. Oh, fantastic! Great. I know you're working on the kind of Full Metal Alchemist story. I had to rewrite some things after we decided how a certain event happened and to correct some inconsistencies, and now everything's put together. Fantastic! Congratulations. Good, good. It's all come together. Um, Let's see here. Oh, I bet the snow is beautiful. Yeah, it's right on the Rockies, so it's on the border of Colorado and Wyoming is where my family's from, and so they're all mountain people. So in the winter, it's like most of the roads are closed kind of snow, so it's just pure snow. There's only about one or two ways I can get up there. Um, and it's just that's where I go for just quiet. I'll just go out. There's an old burnt down smelter. Um, if I ever post a link to the movie I went and made up there once I start touring it at film festivals, because I shot it about 2 years ago. I did a lot of filming at that old smelter, so if you ever get to see it, you'll actually get to see the cool old smelter covered in snow. But it's like old cool like monolithic stone in the trees overtaken by the mountain, and I'll walk out there in the middle of the night and just I don't know, it's my zen time. It's me going to commune with the forest spirits during the winter. I mean, in a way, it was already done. It's just that I messed up the timeline of certain events, and that corrects it. Yeah, fantastic, good. Hey, you nailed it, and hopefully that helps. Are you using that for? You're using that for a game, right? Horny Angel, or are you writing it based off of a game? Because I know you were writing the backstory. I just couldn't remember if you were going to use that at the table, or if that was for a separate thing. Life with Lex. Yeah, it's table RPG. Nice. The Lighthouse is super good. I love The Lighthouse. So Robert Eggers is the director I'm like jealous of. That's the director that I've like in my dreamland I would follow that career path cuz he's just a weirdo. He's just a super archaic, obsessed with old mythologies and folklore. He's just a strange, strange man. Uh, and I loved The Witch. Like The Witch is such a fantastic film. But and I know a lot of people didn't like the Lighthouse as much, but I actually think the Lighthouse is better. And I love The Northman too. I think The Northman's like his weakest movie, even though I adore it. But The Lighthouse is like a perfect film. The joke is always, and I remember Robert Eggers actually said this. The Lighthouse is what happens when you put two men inside of a giant phallus on an island in the middle of the ocean, and that is exactly what that movie's about. It's just like a psychosexual, like hyper masculine deconstruction of like ego and identity, and I fucking love that movie. I love that movie so much. Um, let's see. Life with Lex, amazing. I bet it's nice to go and visit and experience the season since LA doesn't get too much variety. Yeah, I miss the seasons. It's the thing I hate the most about LA is the lack of season. I miss snow. I miss snow and the mountains and spring and most specifically fall. Um, but yes, it is nice to finally get to go do that. Wasn't the Lighthouse and the Wishbowl? Yeah, they were. They were A24, and then he had to go because the budget for the Northman was much bigger than most what A24 can usually do, and I'm assuming and A24 is kind of a small to mid-range studio, and even though the Northman is in the old traditional sense a mid-range movie, mid-range today is like 20 million, 25 at the most, where like old mid-range movies used to be like 50 million, 75 million, and I think the Northman was 60 million. So he had to go to Focus Features for that. I'm pretty sure Focus is doing Nosferatu as well. Um, so I think he's moved on from A24, which is a shame because I think he was the probably the best director they had. Um, aside from, actually no, I think Jordan Peele is still at A24. I think so. I'd say him and Jordan Peele are probably the two best, right? A24 did Nope as well, right? Or actually, no, they never did. A24 hasn't done any of Jordan Peele's movies. Actually, now that I think about it, that was Blumhouse. Oh my God, is that Blumhouse? Oh, I think you're right. I think it is Blumhouse. Oh no, that's a drag. Yeah. Um. But yes, A24 is definitely one of the better studios. It's also one of the only true independent studios that's active right now too. Uh. Oh no. Rhinitis is killing me today. Oh my God, rhinitis. Is that like a thing? Why do I not know what that is? Oh, that's a. Oh no. Oh, that's a congestion. Oh man. Oh, so you have an inflamed. Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh, it's a dust allergy. Okay, yeah. You know what, Horny Angel? I have a bad allergy to mold spores that are in the dust. It's actually why I had to leave Arizona as quickly as possible because I used to get really terrible, terrible allergies. Like it would make me really sick because the wind would kick up all the desert things, and it would like. I still get bad allergies here too, but um, yeah, I feel you with the dust allergy. I lived that life for 18 years of my life, and I never want to do it again. Um, let's see. Oh, very cool. It's so interesting to see the insider perspective of the film music because that's something I would never think of. Oh yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. I love A24. It's one of my goals to go through their catalog. Interesting. So that's a thing that I'm not used to. That used to be common in old Hollywood where people would be like, I watch all this studio's movies. That's a new thing. That like I don't remember too many instances of people being like I only watch or not only watch obviously, but like I'm interested in watching all the movies that this one studio puts out. And I think A24 Blumhouse tried it kind of with like bottom of the barrel horror movies like cheap horror, but A24 has like very successfully branded itself, and it's kind of like a loop back around to the old studio system. So back in the old days, it used to be, this studio was known for doing musicals, so people would go see all the musicals done by this studio, or prestige historical dramas were done by this studio. Like MGM or something like that. So I've it's funny because I've heard people talk like that, and that's new to me, and I think that's kind of new to the industry too. It's a welcome change because it used to be, it's we don't have like prestige studios. Most studios are bottom line oriented. We don't really have a lot of prestige studios anymore. So the fact that you want to watch all the movies or like go through the catalog of A24 is really exciting, and I hope that trend takes off. So it makes me very happy that you say that, Life of Lex. A24 is one of the top studios I want to. A24 is one of the top studios I try to pitch to or sell my stuff to, because I feel like I could. There or Neon. The problem with Neon is I don't know. I don't know how I totally feel about like Tim League and some of the Fantastic. As much as I love the film festival, Fantastic Fest, they've been associated with troublesome people over the years. So A24 tends to be the studio but they're so big now. It's hard. It's hard to get your stuff made with them right now. Let's see. I don't understand how the F does evolution let it happen. I'm okay with having shitty vision. I just want to breathe without suffering. Oh no, I'm sorry, Horny Angel. Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you. Yeah, it's just, it's evolution's weird. Evolution doesn't always mean better, and there's many things that are indicative of that. Like the fact that we breathe from the same place that we eat and drink fluids from. That is not a very evolutionarily efficient way to go about things, hence why we're prone to choking. So, I would like a studio that only makes musicals. I love musicals. Oh, okay, interesting. That was, I think, who was it? Was it Warner Brothers? I don't know if it was Warner Brothers. That was the thing back in if you go back to like from the 30s to the 50s, it was very common for studios to kind of be segmented that way. Let me see. I'm going to Google it. If you ever want to see a fantastic movie about that period of time, watch the Coen Brothers film Hail Caesar. It's a really good. So it's also a really funny Coen Brothers movie, but it also does a really good job of kind of explaining how the old Hollywood studio system used to work in the 40s and the 50s. Okay, so it was. So it was MGM. MGM was the studio that became known for producing the most ambitious and extravagant musicals. So okay, and their claim to fame obviously was The Wizard of Oz in '39. So and I'm pretty sure, I bet you MGM then was probably responsible for things like Singing in the Rain and all that. Because if they were known for the big like operatic musicals at the time. Yeah, okay, West Side Story. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. Yeah. I'm not the biggest musical fan, but it is kind of one of the that was like peak cinema for a long time. Musicals were the thing, and I do love Singing in the Rain. I think that's a great film. The most incredible thing evolution gave us is sweat. It lets us cool down without stopping to rest every 5 minutes, and that's broken. That's broken. Oh no, Horny Angel. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sometimes, man, sometimes. Life with Lex. Well, good. I enjoy how with A24 movies, I don't always see what's coming. Yeah, yeah. It's unique stories that tell unique tales and don't always do what you're expecting. Whenever I hang out with my brother, we usually make it a point to watch an A24 movie all together. So it's a little like a tradition now. Oh, I love that, Life with Lex. That makes that. Oh. That hits me in the heart. That makes me happy. I want more of that. I want more of that in the world. Because then I might actually have a career. But also because I just can't make movies. I'm just not. I just know for a fact I can't make the movies that the major studios make. I have no interest in those, and the amount of time and energy and exhaustion and suffering you have to put into getting a movie made. I'm just not interested enough in those types of movies. So seeing people really enjoy seeing movies that surprise them and to do something, even if it doesn't work, that surprise them or do something new makes me very happy. That gives me hope. Gives me hope for not just the film as an art form, but also just my own future as well. Um, uh, but yeah, evolution is super weird. We're absolutely not perfectly designed. Our brain has to correct our vision because we see, yep, and our teeth stop growing for no reason. Yeah, yeah, we're messes. Like most creatures, we are total messes. And yeah, we do. That's true too. We have blind spots in our vision, and our brains ignore and try to fill the gaps, and do fill the gaps. Although there has been a lot of weird neuroscience research, like neuroscientific research, where um, people that do have very like broad blind spots in their vision, above chance, can predict what's in their blind. So the way the blind spot works is your brain like fills in the gap. So it'll say if there's a lamp in your blind spot in the room, your brain will like fill the room, but you won't see the lamp. And what's interesting is above chance, people will guess correctly what is in their blind spot, which is a fascinating, weird thing. Sorry, this goes back to my philosophy mind when I was doing like philosophy and neuroscience when I was in college. But just a weird little. There was a study, and it's just fascinating that people could, yeah, above chance guess, which means, which has a weird, has a it has some weird implications. Yeah, it has some weird, which means that there could be some form of passive awareness going on in the brain, or at least in consciousness itself, that is somewhat aware, that can communicate it, even though the sort of mechanistic parts that you're that are that are creating, or at least causing your consciousness to be as robust and functional as it is, even though those parts aren't working, that something around it might be, you might still be getting information, which is interesting that your brain can extrapolate, which is fascinating. So anyway, consciousness, man, it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. All right, well, uh, let us get back to our sprints. But and maybe during the sprint, or you can just drop it in the chat while we're writing. But now I want to know, Life with Lex, what is your favorite A24 movie? And what actually, we'll just go around. What's your favorite? What's your favorite A24 movie? And Horny Angel, if you're unaware of that, what's your favorite movie? Because I generally like to know what people's favorite movies are, because it helps me give recommendations in the future. But all right, we will go ahead and start our sprint. It's also kind of fun how people get surprised that our brain can easily be tricked with various things. Yeah, we're super easy to trick and fool and manipulate. We're really, really, really easy to do that too. So, all right, and away we go. Happy writing, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. Man. All right, everybody. There we go. That is the end of that sprint. 20 minutes or 2 hours, no in between. That's exactly true, Life with Lex. That is 100% true. Right, let me start the break timer. There we go. Bring the music down a little bit. All right, and I think we got time for one more. Well, probably have time for one more sprint. Actually, yeah, that'll be perfect. That'll pop me out right about 6 p.m. Perfect. Um, yes, but that's how my brain works. Is I can watch. Yeah, it's hard. It's a real struggle for me to watch TV. It's funny because most of the people I know are television writers, and a lot of people, because there's more writers in TV than there are in film. So it's like, oh, you should write for television, and I actually did. I actually did get into Warner Brothers writing for animation, but I guess that was 20 minute, 23-minute animation. Um, but that's quickly when I found out writing for television was not for me. I was not a fan of that world or how that life went. So, but yeah, for whatever reason, for me it's like the perfect is like 100 minutes, like an hour 40. An hour, a movie like that's like Bergman movies. Like for whatever reason, Bergman was able to clock in almost all of his movies between 80 minutes and 100 minutes, and that's like a sweet spot, man. 100 page script, 100-minute movie is chef's kiss, perfect. Oh yeah, there we go. I was like, did I start the down timer? Oh, that's cool. How long have you been writing for the industry? Well, that was way back. Oh God, when was that? I got in on a writing competition where they had us write spec scripts, and I got in. And if you were, in the top tier of whatever the submissions were, they brought you in to meet with showrunners to essentially get hired into the writers' room for an animated show that, if this was Warner Brothers doing it, so. And you didn't really. The weird thing about the way that they had structured that is at the time you just kind of got assigned to write for multiple shows. Sometimes it wasn't even a single show. You were just kind of there to either do copy edit work or actually try to take a crack at just fixing some dialogue, doing dialogue passes, things like that. So I did not do that very long. It was very short. It was a very short period. I think maybe a couple months before I realized that, because a lot of time you do that to try to get in through the door, and then you realize that I saw the writers above me, the people that were doing the the episode writing, and those people were working 60, 70, 80 hour work weeks, just doing all that writing. And so unless you're a crazy person or don't sleep, you don't really have a lot of time to develop, because a lot of times eventually what happens is if you're there long enough, they ask you, okay, what's your show, what's your pitch, and then you pitch them your show. That's how things like Adventure Time or that's actually Steven Universe is a really good example of that. Steven Universe, Sugar was on Adventure Time, and that's what happened is they were getting ready to get rid of all the shows, and they needed a whole new arrangement of shows, and she had Steven Universe. That was her pitch. And so they tend to do that because animated shows cycle through a lot faster than other shows, and also for whatever reason they purge them all the time. I don't know why they do popular shows, but they just tend to do it. And I realized that I wouldn't really have any time to write or direct, because I wanted to direct. So there wasn't a lot of time outside of being stuck in a writer's room in the studio to direct. So I walked, which was either the best decision I ever made or the worst decision I ever made. And I think I still don't know if that. A lot of people got really mad at me for walking away from that job. That I kind of blew my shot at making it in the industry, because I wanted to direct more than I wanted to be a staff writer or a writer. And it was also animation, which I would love to direct animation, but I can't draw. So I definitely don't come from an animation directing world. I come from photography and filmmaking. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I made a good decision or if I screwed up my entire life by walking away from that. Anyway, do you have a favorite animated show? Oh man, like a western, like not anime. I'm assuming like a Cartoon Network / Nickelodeon animated show. Um, Over the Garden Wall. I've heard a lot of people really like that show. I have not watched Over the Garden Wall. Um, my favorite like Western cartoon outside of probably Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra and following with Korra. Um, Even though Korra is a little bit more of a mixed bag. I really loved. I mean, I really loved Avatar. I really loved that show. Um, like my favorite. I don't know if I liked Adventure Time. I think Adventure Time has some of the best standalone episodes, but I don't know if Cartoon Network has had a show that I've loved consistently as much as I liked Flapjack. I really loved Flapjack. It was so weird. It was so unhinged and deranged. Like, so there were episodes of Adventure Time that got like unhinged and weird and deranged, but like Flapjack Flapjack was like the closest to what I remember some of like the really old weird cartoons doing back at like Rocco and like Ren and Stimpy and stuff. I'm trying to think now. That's a good question, Life with Lex. It's a really hard question. Uh uh that's a really really hard question. I don't know. Committing your life to something you're not totally into versus being concerned about missing opportunities is like a double-edged sword. It is. It really is. And people put a lot of pressure onto this is your shot. This is your big shot because it is rare. Like getting anyone to notice you or pay attention to you in Hollywood is very rare. It's all luck. Like that's the thing that no one tells you. You just want to be sure. The biggest thing you can do is be prepared and do as much work as you can to do what you want to do. Um, do as much work as you can to make the best thing that you can for when and if luck ever happens. Because that's the thing that no one talks about is everything about you finding a producer that's going to get this made. It's all luck. It's all chance. There's no like you can work hard enough to make it in the film industry. You can even be super talented if no one pays attention to you. You're just gonna be a super talented person who never gets to make anything. That's just the nature of the beast. And I can understand why so many of people I knew and I had a lot of people even stop talking to me during that period because they were like, yeah, okay, you fucked you screwed the whole thing up. like you were gonna get in and now you but yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's hard, but I would have been miserable. I definitely know I can be in I can stay with the solace that like live with the fact that I know that I would have been absolutely miserable doing that. Over the Garden Wall is wholesome weird. Okay, I can do that, but it's hard to find anything better than Avatar. Yeah, yep. Yes, it is very hard to find anything that's better than Avatar. Although I've got to say that Blue Eye Samurai show on Netflix I'm obsessed with it. Like I love that show. I actually before my Netflix I only sign up for streaming services usually once a month when there's stuff on there I want to watch. I ended up like watching Blue Eye Samurai again before my Netflix expired because I was like it's such a good show. And now I'm watching Scavenger's Reign on HBO on Max. And that is a really really good. I mean these are both adult cartoons. They're not kid cartoons. They're written and made for adults. But they are both very good. Scavenger's Reign is like weird old sci-fi comic weird and I love it. It reminds me of like a little bit of Miyazaki, a little bit of like Nazca era Miyazaki, and like the French heavy metal artist Mobius. But those are like the two animated things I'm really into right now that are like non-anime. I believe you'll make it. I'm a great corner cheerleader. Oh, thank you, Life with Lex. That is, thank you so much. Yes, I need as many of those. I need as many of those cheerleaders as humanly possible. Thank you. No, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I work hard, so I try to work hard enough that if it strikes, the moment strikes, and I'm up to the task. So that's just all you can do. Over the Garden Wall is about 8 20-minute episodes has some lovely and fucking weird episodes. Okay, so it's short. Okay, here I'll go check that out. Um, Over the Garden Wall. Oh, it's a mini. Okay, so you're already gonna win me over by it being a mini series because I like mini series more than I like television series. I like when things. I'm a movie person. I like when things have an ending. I'm a very big fan of things having endings. It's actually that actually might be one of the main reasons why I grew up loving anime more than Western cartoons and Western things, is that generally those shows had an ending. Obviously not like the long form stuff, but like, and even then they're kind of ending with arcs. The arcs kind of end. But like, like Cowboy Bebop had an ending. Trigun had an ending. These things, they ended. It's over. The story has been told. Oh, I like the animation style a lot. Yeah, okay, I've seen. I do remember seeing advertisements for this. I remember liking the art style because the art style reminds me a lot of Flapjack a little bit. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Oh, it's got Beatrice. It's got Malene Linsky in it. She's great. She is fantastic. All right. I think we are going to get started on our last sprint of the evening for me, but then I'm probably... Is Liz on? I'm pretty sure Liz is on. After that, I'll just drop into Liz's stream, as always. Yeah, okay, yeah, Liz is on. So there will be more sprints to be had after I get off, so yeah, it always lines up nice when she's on around the time I'm wrapping up, because then I can just pop in over and I know she's I know what she's up to generally. So all right, yeah, she just started. Perfect. Yeah, it has that kind of dark, gritty, muted pastel animation. Yeah, so yeah, it does. It looks a lot like, it looks kind of like a weird foresty version of Flapjack, which I'm all into. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the timer started. I hope the words find you all well. Happy writing, everybody, and we will see ya on the flip side. Very Halloween fall vibes. Perfect. Then it's made for me. In that case, it is absolutely made for me. Life with Lex. I am all about them Halloween fall vibes. All right, happy writing, everybody. We will see you on the other side. And there we go, everybody. That is the last sprint of the night. Gargoyles that are Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, that's literally what it's like. It's it's literally what it is. You go in there and it's like a new life goal. I just. Yeah, no, it's like you would. I remember you would go into the gate, and like there's a bunch of cars parked around like this giant like fountain, and in the middle of the fountain it does look like, it does kind of look like you know, it's a fortress up on top of this giant hill, and there are just like all the posts, you know, like when you go, if you've ever been to Disneyland, you know how there's the little mini like Mickey Mouse ear head silhouettes on like all the gates and stuff. It's like that, but Winnie the Pooh. And there's like Winnie the Pooh, you know, Winnie the Pooh statues, and it's like a fortress. Like you, if you went to a castle like that, you'd expect gargoyles, but they're all just Winnie the Pooh. So anyway, it's weird. It's really weird. It's weird places. So, and I always, you know, I called it the Pooh House because it was, or the Winnie the Pooh House, because it was owned by the daughter of the radio guy Schlesinger, or yeah, Schlesinger, who was sold the rights by the widow of the guy who made Winnie the Pooh. So essentially all the royalty funds that like Disney gets for Winnie the Pooh, they pay to this person. So all of the Winnie the Pooh money, at least, or like 4 or 5%, whatever it is, I have no idea what their thing is, but that is yeah, that's her house. The woman who lives there was 1 year old when this all happened, and I think when her dad died. Yeah, her dad died when she was 1. So, and she's just there all by herself. It's actually kind of a sad story. It's just weird. But yeah. Yeah, it was a weird place. It was a weird place because you're just in this castle fortress. Like I said in an autobiography, man. Yeah, I guess maybe someday I'll just write down weird stories, like weird little snippets from my life. Should maybe start writing these down in case I start forgetting this stuff. Honestly, at this point, 2 biographies. Yeah, yeah. It definitely is a weird going down memory lane. You know, first I gotta like be somebody, but then I'll write a weird like I'll do like the William Friedkin thing, where William Friedkin did his own audiobook version of it, because I just think that's funny, because it's really funny, because he'll just be like, my life, a life of William Friedkin, written by me, William Friedkin. I don't know, it cracks me up. Anyway. Alright. Well, I think that is going to be it for me this evening. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and hop on over into Liz's stream. So we'll go ahead and rate her. I mean, I think it's just, there's not many of us here left, but if anyone's following along, we'll just hop on over and say hello to Liz. Woohoo! Yes, indeed. But anyway, I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will see you probably next week. I don't know. There is a week coming where I'm not going to stream. I'm going to try to take the week off, but I don't know if that's going to be next week. Anyway, have a great rest of your night. I'll be at her super. Yeah, I figured you were probably over there. You would be over there as well, Life with Lex. So I will see you on over there. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you all laters. Ba, ba, ba. All right. Yes, there we go. All right. Adios, everybody. Take care.